Hello my friends. Welcome to Reddit Rabbit. Before we start, catch the rabbit at the bottom right corner, smash that subscribe button and leave a comment. r/AskReddit. What is the most effective psychological trick you use? To avoid workplace drama and be well liked is to just compliment people behind their back. I would never say this to her face, but she's a wonderful person and a gifted artist. This was simultaneously one of the nicest and weirdest things Michael did on the show. My co-workers can get a little catty sometimes. When they are griping to me about something someone else did, I just shut it down with X is just so great with customer service though, or some compliment about the person they're complaining about. Works like a charm, and sends the message I'm not going to feed into this crap, so go away. Listening to someone without giving advice or pushing for more information typically nets me more information than being pushy for it. If you want to hear what someone has to say, just let them speak. If they stop, just wait. They will continue speaking and adding to what they were saying to fill the silence. I've done this a lot. This was taught in communication at med school for us as a way to get more information as well as reduce consultation times. If you just let the patient speak without interrupting, they will usually give you the entire story of why they are there within 1.5 minutes, whereas if you interrupt you may not get the full reason behind why they are there, and thus it can prolong the consultation if it comes out later in the consultation. In an argument, find something to agree on, then push your main point. When you realize this, it's like a superpower. Oh, you like Black Mirror? So do I. It's like a modern, tragic Twilight Zone. I know, right? Well, frick you and your loud ass feet walking around upstairs. What are you practicing for, a marching band? If you need to de-escalate someone and get them to communicate, asking questions about numbers, personal information. I work in emergency services. If someone is totally distraught and shut down, asking their phone number/address, SSN, birth date can pull them out of the emotional place and bring them back to a headspace where they can talk about what happened more easily. I often ask these questions even after I have the information, just to de-escalate. My youngest, 4, got into the why phase a little while back. Read an article that said the best way to get them to stop was to ask them, "I'm not sure, what do you think?" It is a godsend. They answer their own question, you provide some feedback, sounds good to me, and they immediately move on. Freaking awesome. I've started making my 4-year ask the whole question, so now he has to ask why is the sky blue rather than just why. It makes him pause and think, engages him in the conversation more, and breaks us out of that constant why loop. I do this too. I told him that complete sentences get complete answers, but asking why by itself is going to get because as an answer. Yep, works like a charm. My daughter is very into this right now. It drives me insane. After a huge bout of questions the other day, she actually said, "Daddy, why do I keep asking why?" I just stared at her and tried not to burst into huge racking sobs of tears. My friend responded to her toddler's 7th question in an extreme but why chain with, "Well, why not?" in a really happy voice. Her son looked completely mind blown and stopped asking. I keep trying to use this with my niece. Her response is always why yes, and I just don't know. Good question, kid. I recently read that saying "you're right" instead of "I know" makes you look less like an asshole and doesn't diminish something someone else may have just found out. I think it's pretty effective at not letting you look like a total ass. My 3-year-old loves to ask me questions and then say, "That's right. Well done, mummy." And it always makes me feel pretty good. I work as a creative director. I have a lot of great clients, unfortunately with a few IT managers from their side. They usually go with the mantra of, "If it's not my idea, it's not a good idea." I end up, sometimes, telling them about something Google, Tesla, Amazon, Samsung, etc. is doing, and how we could try it. They jump at these ideas. The ideas are actually mine or my team's. Works like a charm. Use this sparingly. Using it as an easy escape is not a good idea. It works, but know when to use it. If you use it all the time, it won't make you look any better. It will also allow people to be promoted who aren't capable of doing the job. Pointed out by Rootfoot. Thank you. Good luck everyone. Much of my old jobs involved tricking my managers into thinking the best option was their idea all along. It's great for getting things done, but horrible when it comes time to compensate you appropriately for all you bring to the team. Much of my old jobs involved tricking my managers. Managing your leadership is a very significant part of every job I've ever had. Michael Scott is an exaggeration, but not by as much as he should be. In the real world, however, it tends to run less well-meaning doofus and more petulant child. Given how much one of my former managers studied psychological tricks like some of the ones listed here, I suspect he secretly was aware my ideas weren't his. He just wanted to steer me towards giving him credit so he could claim more accomplishments. If you hand something to someone, they will take it. It's a lot of fun. They're less likely to take it if it's obviously trash. Source. I hand people things very often. You have to distract them by asking a question or engaging them in conversation. Then hand it to them when it's out of their sight. I used to be awful for this. My sister's fiance did it all the time to me, just passing me random objects while I talked. Wrappers, toys, sheets of paper. Anything, I'd take it. He's done it so much I don't take anything physically offered to me without going through a full process in my head of why they're giving me something. Plus side, I don't get left with random it. Downside, it was pretty funny and we got some good laughs out of it. I evidently do this with sleep kisses. My husband, by accident, he claims, discovered that if you put something up to my lips while I'm asleep I'll give it a soft peck. I woke kissing a book one night. He had a little stack of things from the nightstand that he'd had me kiss already. He said he was being scientific, but I question the ethics of his methods. I want to hear more about your husband's claim on how he accidentally married you. I currently manage around 240 people between 6 restaurants. It is often hard to get them to do what is needed. I have found saying I need your help is sufficient to get them on board. People want to feel needed and like they are making a difference. Expressing to them as much makes all the difference in the world. I've said this one before, but it's along the same lines. If I need someone to change the way they do things, I usually ask them to help make sure others are doing that thing correctly. Rather than accusing them of doing something wrong, I give them the responsibility of being a positive role model for others. I use this with my toddler, too. It works well. Yeah, like if I'm clearing the dishwasher and my toddler is running around, throwing things into it while I work, I'll give him one of his plates, bowls, or utensils and ask him to put it away for me. He will happily do it. Even if he sees I don't have anything to give him, he'll take a stack of his bowls and hands them to me so I can give them back one by one as he puts them away. Kids are stupid, but adorable a lot of the time. That's funny. When I'm clearing the dishwasher and my toddler is running around, I just throw him in there for the next cycle. When I'm doing backcountry hiking patrol in a wilderness area, I'm supposed to keep an eye out for people with dogs, which are not allowed. The ranger taught me to ask any dog walkers, "Are you looking for somewhere to walk your dog?" That gives them the chance to pretend they didn't know about the rule. Signs posted, of course, so they don't lose face. Then I give them a brochure with dog-friendly trails. It's a brilliantly non-confrontational technique, and I use it in other parts of my life. I've found that strategy works pretty well in several situations. When someone does something obviously wrong, you mentally construct the least negative reason they might have done that. For example, that they disobeyed the no dogs is sign, because they just didn't see sign, and give them the chance to take that explanation. I appreciate you giving me a ride to the middle of the desert as a thank you for testifying at your nephew's trial, but you seem to have accidentally hog-tied me and thrown me into the trunk of your car, instead of allowing me to sit in one of the seats. This is a fascinating exercise program, but I am concerned about the impact digging this 6-foot deep hole might have on the desert ecology. Perhaps we could go to a gym instead? Oh no. When your gun went off, I think you lost some of your bullets in my torso. Can you drive me to the hospital so I can ask a surgeon to remove them for you? LOL, I'd read a whole 10 pages of you negotiating being kidnapped this way. Huh? If you need to remember something, Think about it while doing something noticeably unusual. This will pair the memory with the something, so that when it is noticed later on it will trigger that particular memory. For example, I need to take out the garbage before going to bed. Put your pillow at the foot of your bed. This is a good idea. I'm gonna go put all my forks in the pantry so I remember to use it. Where the frick are all my forks? Does anybody else remember this in Diary of a Wimpy Kid? I first heard about it there when I was a kid, and had no idea anybody seriously does this.